Well, hello friends, Randy Saleh, your instructor for Marketing 1311, and I'd like to make a video for you on how to write, format, and submit your written projects. The written projects for this course are the majority of your grade. They represent 800 points. So, we want to be able to write and format them in the correct manner. So here we are on Unit 1. We'll take this unit as an example. We'll come down to the actual project one, the marketing environment. Now to access the actual project, you can open up the assignment itself or simply just click Project 1 Marketing Environment. And when you do that, your assignment pops up in a new window. I would definitely suggest that you download this project, save it to your computer, and print it out. And you're going to work on a question a day, and we'll make this assignment very, very easy. So let's go over the assignment of how to write, format, and submit it. So let's look at this. Project 1, Marketing Environment. Here's what I've done for you. I've pretty much put the chapters from Chapter 1, from Chapter 2, from Chapter 2, from Chapter 2. Chapter 2 is a pretty big chapter. To Chapter 3. So you can go right to your book and find the answers. You can also use online sources, the PowerPoints, the notes. Just make sure that we are referencing correctly and you're putting it back in your own words. So, the marketing process. This is big. Define the marketing process. The answers to your questions are never one-word answers. They're never one or two sentence answers. They're writing projects, and I'm going to show you what the format should look like and how you should do it. So, the first part of this question, understanding the marketplace. All right, we have to do that in the marketing world. We have to design a value-driven marketing strategy, constructing integrated marketing program to deliver customer value. And again, you're going to find these headings in the book. Creating customer relationships and capturing value. Each one of these, okay, so we've listed them. You're going to explain and define each one of those bullets, all right? And then from the business portfolio, Chapter 2, define the Boston Consulting Group's growth share matrix. That is one of the historic consulting matrix that we've had in business for the past probably 50 years. Some people say it may be outdated, but it's very good to look at. It gives you at least a baseline of how to evaluate and analyze products in the marketing world. Strategic planning, target market, positioning, Chapter 2. Again, these are going to be your answers. Now what you're going to do is, it's why you have Microsoft Word, which we give to you for free. Find it on the Marketing 1311 homepage. Actually get the access to it. It's free. And you'll start a new, file, and that's going to be, you're going to label it your Project 1. This is what you're going to do. The marketing process, okay? That is your heading, and that's when you're going to answer these questions. You don't need to rewrite what I have written. It's just easier to use the numbers and the nice heading that I have given you here. So we go down. How many questions do we have here, Mark said? So we have 7 questions. And so if you work on one a day, a couple a week, you're going to be fine doing this. Trying to do this at the last minute on September 15th, again, you're going to be very frustrated because it's not going to be good. It won't. So here are your directions. There's a note on my grading style, but I have a grading rubric for you, okay, and an example of how your how your projects for this course should be written. So that's the next part of our video. You want to print all of these out, my friends. Don't just leave them online and think I can go back to it anytime you can. Print it out, look at it, read through the chapter, read through these questions and where you'll find them. It'll make it so much easier. Again, just real quickly, I go into more full detail in the next part of our video, but it's going to be in Microsoft Word, okay? Please don't send pages, don't send Google Docs or an RTF file. Google Docs is nothing to send, it's something to share. Once in a while, I get a student who says, here's my link to my Google Docs, check it out. I'm not going to grade that. Google Docs is good for sharing. You can always export into a Word or PDF. You can certainly send a PDF if you're wanting to do another word processing program like Pages for Mac. Just at the end, when you're finished and ready, convert to PDF or Word file, and then I can take it from there. So now let's look at the grading rubric that I have provided for you. So friends, here is the grading rubric guide for your written and business projects, and this is for my classes of BUSI 1301 and Marketing 1311. I want to give you some help in how to write. Again, the Business Advisory Committee meetings that I go to and the business community have said time and time again that the written communication from so many college graduates is lacking, and it's very difficult to read and to send proposals to customers. So this is how we are going to format our projects. So please read through the guide that you have, and it's on every assignment, but every project will include a title page. Title your work and include your name. Okay, your answers, all right, will be numbered, and you'll use the heading that I have provided for you, all right, on each project that you have. So use bullets and short paragraphs. A paragraph, my friends, in business writing should never exceed 6 sentences. Unfortunately, you've been taught in English Composition 1 and 2 that basically a paper looks like one giant paragraph, so to speak, with double spacing, etc., etc., and that's not what the business world would like to see. So we are going to use shorter paragraphs, no more than 6 sentences. Every new topic should be its own paragraph. So if you're writing about economics and competition, the 3 forms of competition, or whatever the question may be, each new thought should be its own bulleted paragraph. I'm going to show you an example here. Okay, we do not use double spacing. Double spacing has no place in business writing in a proposal. Use 1 to 1.5 line spacing. Personally, I use 1.15. That is a very good look to your project. 11 or 12 point font for the body, and 14 to 16 point font for your headings. Anything larger makes it very difficult to read. I do not want to see body text at 14 to 16 font. Okay, 11 to 12. So number your pages. What about grammar and syntax? Every project that you write, assume you are going to deliver this to a vice president of marketing, vice president of operations, or a vice president of communication to the company that you wish to work for. Would you be proud of what you have written and sent in? And do you want somebody to look at it? That's your audience, in my opinion. Okay, as far as the look needs to be. So yes, spelling, grammar, all projects should be written in the utmost professionalism, proper grammar, punctuation, spelling. If it's filled with grammatical errors and resembles one giant paragraph and basically somebody has ignored everything I've said, is not going to be graded well, and it should have never been submitted. Now, each campus does have its own writing center to help you in this area. Now, they're going to be busy, obviously, but you can email your paper in. Maybe you have a friend, maybe you have a relative. It's always good to proofread your work. It's a necessity to proofread your work. Now, we are going to submit our assignments through SafeAssign. Okay, it's already loaded in when you upload your file. So do not plagiarize. Okay. You can cite in either APA or MLA style, and that's just your bibliography page. but do not use the double spacing that APA and MLA want. We're just using basically you just need a reference cited page. All right, your source is cited. Make sure you're not retweeting. You can go on the internet. You can find some examples. You're going to be using your book, some of the notes. That is perfectly fine. Just rewrite it in your own words. A direct copy and paste, even if it is cited, is still plagiarism. So, you know, you're going to go on to different courses, to different universities, more than likely, in your career and in your educational journey. And I'm just trying to prepare you, because if something gets caught at the university level of plagiarism, it could mean dismissal. I just want you to rewrite it. I want you to do your best there. Okay? Again, do some research, absolutely. Write it in your own words, cite the source. By doing this, you're going to be in good shape. Now, on your safe assign, if it reaches a 50% hit, and it will tell you because you get to see the report, you're going to need to rewrite parts of your paper. If you submit a paper with over 50% sources that it finds throughout the internet, and you say, I'm not going to rewrite it, then you'll receive an F for plagiarism, or I'd receive an F if I did that. So just give me every chance here to not to let that happen. Okay, so there's the formatting, the rubric. I've taken a lot of college classes, and there's been some times, and certainly in different semesters, all I wanted to do was make a B. Man, if I could just grab a B and get through this class, and do the good work, that'd be great. Well, here's what you do. You answer every question on the project that you're working on. Okay. You have the right formatting, grammar, spelling, syntax, and the minimum word count for the total project is 1,200 words. You should get right about an 80, a B, fine grade in the college level. Now, my friends, sometimes a student misinterprets what I've just said, and they answer 2 out of 10 questions, but they put 1,200 words and say, hey, I think I'm done. That grade is an F, because you have to answer every single question. So let's check this out. 10 questions on a paper, 120 words a question, that gets you 1,200 words. Again, answered correctly, good formatting, you should be in good shape. You want a higher grade? Well, I applaud you for that. An 85 equals this. All questions answered adequately, proper formatting, grammar, spelling, syntax, minimum word count for that total project is 1,700 words. All questions answered again, you get an 85. More than likely, again, all right, provided everything is done right. So that should be right at an 85. You want an A? Excellent. Again, all questions answered. Now we have in-depth research. So this is much more than 120 words per question, okay? Great, proper formatting, grammar, word count is 2,200 words, then you've got a 90. And for those who want to excel, past that, lock down 95, all right, excellent research, excellent formatting, grammar, spelling, minimum word count, 2,600 words, and there's a wow factor to it. I mean, it just looks great, and I am very happy for you. I have had, in my time of teaching, I'm not saying you have to do this, but there have been many students who put in 4,000 word papers and just amazing research. Now, that's just because they went over the top. You don't have to write that much, but I'm just saying some have. I've had many students write 500 words, and this is a very poor grade. I mean, you're not even at half of what the minimum requirement that I wanted, because I want you to make A's and B's in the class. And so that grade is more than likely an F, because there's questions that did not get answered. So if I put forth minimal effort in what I do, I'm going to receive a minimal grade. Poor formatting, syntax, looks bad, and I would probably tell myself to drop the class. If that's the best I can do, is a 500 to 700 word, even anything under 1,200 words, doesn't, I put very little effort in there, I'd probably just question myself and say, why am I even taking this class? All right, because I want you to do well. And not just in the class, I want you to do well in your careers. Now, I have been teaching a while, and once in a while, I've had Student come in and said, I've worked in the corporate world for 22 years, and I've never had to do this. Well, first of all, I'd say congratulations. Sounds like you've had a good career, and whatever you had to do in the corporate world is one thing, but what we do in this class is another, and this is the way it should look. So what should it look like? Well, here's a example. Now, this is for one of my other classes that I teach, personal finance. And this was an investments project. I redacted a lot. It's just a couple of questions. But again, if you're using Microsoft Word, you can use what you want as long as I get it back into a Word or a PDF file. So this was Microsoft Word, which you get for free, by the way. All right. And, it automatically has its title page you put in there. And so nice looking title. This was how a question was answered. So it was investments, components of risk. You see, there's numbered, and there was the topic heading, and these are the components of risk in investments. So basically, every item had its own paragraph: inflation risk, interest risk, business failure, market risk, and then systematic and unsystematic. As I read this, as you read this, you can get to the information very quickly. As you make your reports and sales proposals throughout your career, and you're giving this to a customer or to an executive vice president or to a venture capitalist for funding, they can go in and see exactly what they need to see very quickly. If I were to put this into one giant paragraph, hey, I just wouldn't even want to read it. And I couldn't find the information that I need. Global investment risk. And again, works cited. This was the textbook. Yes, you do cite your textbook because your textbook is a reference. So again, this particular paper had like 15 references because this was just one answer, and out of about a 12 question project. So I hope and I believe this should give you some good guidance of my grading style, my grading rubric. I'm not trying to punish anyone. I'm trying to help you really get into a technical business style writing that you can perform throughout your long and prosperous career, which I hope everyone enjoys. Okay, well, now that we know how to write and format our written projects, let's submit it. And again, if you have been taking courses at Tarrant County College and are well versed in Blackboard, then just as a simple review, if this is your first time, well, here we go. We're right back into the project one, marketing environment. And so we click and open the assignment. And this tells us a lot. It gives us our due date and, of course, the points possible. Now, this is a spring semester, and so our due date is right here. If this were a subsequent summer or fall semester, the due date will always match what is in your course organizer, and you have until 11 p.m. on the due date to submit. One thing about project management is 90% of the problems will always occur in the last 10% of the work. That's just, excuse me, the way life goes. So try to submit early. You have 3 weeks to complete a project, so the earlier the better. And if there's ever a problem, you can always resubmit. If you try to do it at 10:45, I can assure you, you'll run into some sort of problem. So here we are, assignment submission. We're going to do this just like an email. So first of all, we're always attaching right here. We are not writing a submission. A copy and paste inside a text submission has no place in this course. It will not be graded. It would receive the grade of 0 if done. So we simply browse our computer just like you're cranking up an email, and it will always, come to your files where you can look at that and grab your assignment. Now, just as I've asked in the directions, you put your name, Project 1, marketing environment, and the subsequent projects as well. This helps me. I know who project I'm grading. The easier it is, you make it for me, the easier it is I can grade your assignment, because I save all these to another folder. Now, again, this assignment goes through Safe Assign, just as we've said earlier. If you have a 50% match On your Safe Assign report, my friends, you need to rewrite that. Anything over 50% and not rewritten as a final submission to me will receive an F for plagiarism. So rewrite that, make it in your own words. We're all good. Here's what we do, and of course we click that link as well. I agree to submit my papers to the global reference base, and you could put a comment on here. You do not have to. You could say, Mr. Saleh, I am submitting my paper, Project 1. That's only optional. And then you hit the submit button. When you hit that, you're going to have a green banner come up here that says project successfully submitted. Give it a few seconds. Again, all of Tarrant County College uses our Blackboard system, so if you submit during a very peak time, it may take a minute or two to actually submit. So you want to have that green arrow, the green banner that says successfully submitted. Now the reason I did not do that right here is because I cannot submit something to myself. It gives me a red banner that has error, did not submit correctly. So we want the green one, submitted successfully. And there you go. You have a date stamp, you're protected. That is why we do not email these projects to my email, because A, it doesn't go through Safe Assign, and we'll have to do that, and B, we never know if that goes to junk mail or clutter or something else. So this is the safest way. It protects us both. I hope you found this video helpful. I am looking very forward to reading your amazing work in this class. Make it a great day.